Hi guys, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Hope everyone's doing really well. Today, this morning, we are checking out the Fire Emblem. Oh, that's not my camera. The son of a the Fire Emblem Engage soundtrack. There I am. Which I'm very excited about. I actually was kind of hyped up for this to the point that I actually bought the game for myself. And while I'm not crazy about it, the music's pretty good. The music's pretty good. And so what we're going to be doing today, thank you to Patreon member Hydro, is we're going to be crashing through. I don't know if it's the full soundtrack, selections of Fire Emblem Engage today. And the game plan is basically exactly what I said. A note from Hydro. So of course this is Fire Emblem. You know Fire Emblem. We're going to be listening to two parts. This is obviously a tactical role-playing game. Composers Yasuhisa Baba, which is the sound director, Kazuki Komai, Hiroki Morishita, and Takeru Kanazaki. Fire Emblem OST listens make a return. We will now be jumping out of the Trails rabbit hole and now fall into the Fire Emblem rabbit hole. Let's see. Last time we did listen to Fire Emblem Three Houses. All right. Let's see. I'm just looking through. All right. Fire Emblem Engage, which came out in 2023 with very good combat with a very apparently mediocre story based on my understanding. It feels very much like a Fate game of Fire Emblem, which is odd to say, but because of the way that they use the heroes, it's a very interesting system. I don't think it's necessarily bad. It's very interesting. Let's put it that way. Fire Emblem Engage is a tactical RPG for Nintendo Switch where players control Aliar, a divine dragon who awakens after a 1,000-year slumber to defeat the resurrected fell dragon Sombron. The story focuses on collecting 12 emblem rings, which is what contains past heroes, Marth, Sigurd, to merge with in battle to save the land of Ilios. Alir, a divine dragon, awakens from a 1,000-year slumber and becomes a central figure in combating the looming threat. Right, we already talked about that. Units can wear emblem rings to fuse with heroes from past games, gaining increased power, new abilities, and special appearances. Some Fire Emblem characters that are featured in the game are Lucina from Awakening, Corrin from Fates, Celica from Echoes, Lyn from Blazing Blade. The story may not be the best in the series, but some music tracks are quite diverse and melodic, which is actually very true. Fire Emblem Engage has the weapon triangle, which may make Fire Emblem fans like this is what which many Fire Emblem fans like. This is what Three Houses does not have, unfortunately. The Fire Emblem series is known for its Fire Emblem theme and different variations, and the weapons triangle in certain titles. So we're going to just dive in here. My goal is to get through as much of it as possible, if not the whole thing today. But we'll see. Thank you, Bende. Hi, Hydro. So yeah, this OST is kind of underrated, I'd say. I think partly due to like just being connected to a game that's somewhat average. Hi, Yoshi. And having played a little bit of the first like 2 hours myself, I will say the combat's very good, and it is very stimulating. Hey, Pillow. Well, so not today. Today's very specifically about Fire Emblem. So we're gonna dive in and just kind of crash through. We'll stop and start as we go. We'll be doing some talking about specific tracks and mostly we're just here to vibe and to listen to these soundtracks and obviously I'm going to be talking about it a bit so that I don't get some sort of a copyright strike on my channel, since a lot of other songs that have been uploaded. I think you know why. It's because on the Nintendo Music player, they recently uploaded this entire soundtrack. So I think Nintendo cracked down on non-transformative uploads of this. So Gonna tread a little carefully with this guy, but I'm not super worried. Yeah, let's dive in. So I won't be able to have the tracks up on the screen. Well, maybe I'll do chat. Maybe I'll do text. Well, anyway. So this is the Fire Emblem theme right off the bat. What I can do is share my screen. Yeah, so I really like this theme. Of course, the Fire Emblem theme is so, I think, synonymous with like conquest and with victory and with strength of will and strength of mind, and courage and tenacity and all of these things. It's hard to deny. And this version is a little bit more, I don't know. I mean, I haven't heard every version, but this version feels a little bit more, distinctive in the way that it uses percussion. I think that this track in particular also feels very heroic. And look, I mean, the anime tropes are very, very, very apparent in this particular iteration. I mean, not that Fire Emblem isn't anime adjacent anyway, but this one really feels like it's representing the main character and the divine dragon and like what that represents, and also too, like, I think the 12 rings and how these sort of iconic Fire Emblem characters make their return in the way that they do. It's kind of an interesting concept, honestly, but that's why people like Fate, right? I mean, this is like kind of not dissimilar. You notice how it's like sort of, it's a bit stretched. And I really like the way that the percussion sort of lends itself to this. Just lower the volume some. Like, you see how this middle section here is not optimistic, but it's very like, feels like a breath, because this is the moment of triumph and success. What do you mean? What do rings mean to me? In what sense? And it's interesting because in its own way, it's a fanfare, you know, but it's not just militaristic in its approach. It has this like sort of gentle grace to it. So even though the main melody there is very poised, very strong, very, you know, kind of all hands on deck, very heartfelt and very like, yes, we can accomplish our goal. There's also this feeling of like strength of will. Especially when you get into the percussion and the trumpets here at the very back half. And then, of course, I mean, what's interesting, too, is that this is a pretty short melody. Realistically, you can spin off on it in many different ways. Yeah, it's cool. It's a nice little theme, isn't it? And I think it's actually nice to not, I don't know, in Three Houses, hearing it as the, like, bell of the school, I think kind of takes away from it a little bit. Now, I don't remember when it comes back in that game, but hearing it like this with the slow percussion underneath is very nice. All right, this is Emblem Engage, which I believe is this is the moment when you combine with the hero. Can't remember. Oh, this is that. Yeah, okay. So actually, when I was listening to this, I actually skipped it. I listened to like a minute and I was like, okay, I'm good. It's obviously like another anthem, which is fine. It's very boisterous, very, very charged up, very excited. It's extremely cheesy. It's extremely anime opening. Not a problem per se, but it's more the vocal choice that is not necessarily my cup of tea per se. But you know, it's no different than what's it called? Lady. Oh God, from Three Houses, Lady Racefelger, I think it's called. I do like this section. So this section's kind of fun. The beginning section I'm kind of like ambivalent towards, but the middle section here is actually really fun because it goes da 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 da, and so that repetition is actually interesting because it repeats the same notes, but the way that it goes up into the pitch and then back to ba ba beep ba beep ba ba beep ba beep ba, that's actually kind of an interesting musical gesture. I mean, it's not nothing crazy, right? It's like maybe a third, but I think that that's kind of cool, you know.
Coming through, but just from another place. Do you remember me? Memories of red and blue, reigniting you, bear your face and move, free yourself forevermore, here and now.
But there's also something to be said. Sorry, I'm stopping a lot because I'm nervous about the Nintendo Ninjas. Just because this recently was taken down because it's on the Nintendo music app now. So trying to skirt past this. In fact, I may just upload this to Patreon later. Well, we'll see what happens. Anyway, there's it's a very wordy song, obviously, and I think it works fine. You know, it gets us where we need to go. It's charming in its own way. I will say what's impressive to me is the fact that that's actually pretty high. Like that's actually pretty hard to do long term. And whoever's singing this is actually kind of crushing it. Like like that's high as hell. You Pillow, you can comment. You don't need musical knowledge here to comment. If something speaks to you, just say it. Don't worry about it. Barry Bach is the singer. Impressive, Barry. Little guitar accent there is nice. And also, there's actually a very nice harmony in the backside of that. Nice lower register. Notice how there's also like there's an emphasis that happens as we kind of fill out with the orchestra and the key change. Yeah, it's definitely using falsetto. Yeah. Also, it's interesting how he gets up. It's actually, I do like this section. The fact that he's able to get there really fast. He does this thing where he kind of leans into it slightly, which is kind of interesting. Hold on. That's so cool. That is pretty. Shum, bum, 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 bum. The short strings. But notice that there's always this shadow underneath. Nice. And then we take the melody with the electric guitar and spin off on it. Engage! I do think the soundtrack is pretty underrated. I think mostly because it's attached to a game that people don't necessarily like, which is inherently the problem. Yeah, it certainly has character. I'm not going to say it's like a piece of shit or anything. I mean, it's a good song. It just depends on how much you're willing to like deviate past like the your preconceptions or what have you, right? Like it's fine. It works. Yeah, I really like the chanting part, and I also really like the middle section. It's fun. Let's check out Engage. I didn't hate it. If I didn't like it, I would have said I didn't like it. Right, so this is what plays when we're in that beginning section. And it's interesting too how it has that momentum is interesting to me because it's like it's anticipatory, and it moves us almost to this point of like, okay, we gotta keep going. There's anxiety in it, you know. It feels like the breath is up in your throat, and there's like an inherent tension in it, and an inherent like what's gonna happen next. You know what I mean? It's cool though. I love how it is scary. Yeah, but his mom's the divine white dragon. You know what I like about this game? That's kind of funny. What's funny to me about the story of this game is, I forget it's the character's name, but like he wakes up, they wake up, and there's like, you know, the two like children, and then the guy with the hair, with the white beard, and they wake up and it's been 1,000 years. It just makes me chuckle because it's like, damn, who's been watching over this man or this person for 1,000 years? That is funny. Yeah, Clan and Flom, yeah. Oh, actually, yeah, there's some great, like, sort of like classical singing in this, quote unquote. So it's a really cool remix. It's a really cool remix of the main theme, and I think like what's really fun about Engage in particular is the fact that we're in a battle sequence here, and working along with Marth and moving through this, you know, this battlefield, if I recall, and it's inspired, which is really fun, and I like how the choice of instruments, kind of the electric guitar and all this stuff, like obviously we're in a medieval setting, you know, sort of like obviously a high fantasy medieval setting, and using the electric guitar, I think is really fun because it adds like this layer of stakes and pressure to it that you wouldn't necessarily get with like strings, where the strings would still provide it, but it wouldn't quite be as like immediate. And I think like the guitar does a great job. The electric guitar does a great job of making us feel like front and center on the in the difficulty. This is a tactician style. This is the standard Fire Emblem. It's not one of the Mosuo ones. Also, what are you talking about, Finn? This is a man. 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 Most of these are men, with the exception of 1, 2, 3 women. So there's only 3 anime girls, and most of them are anime boys, plus a dragon lady and a dragon man. So I mean. I played the first 2 hours because I actually really like the soundtrack. Also, too, don't you like this? What does that have to do with pride? But I actually like how it's all kind of heroic. Like, there's not really like the beginning is actually the most interesting part personally, because the beginning is the one where there's tension and stress, right? The middle here is much more heroic, you know, which is cool. Martha's the best anime girl. You're right. How my bad. It's true. Martha's the best anime girl. But I also think, like, from a compositional perspective, and like from an emotional perspective, listening to this as well, I think it's pretty cool to have the motif be in the main theme, the sort of like anime opener, but then immediately after, as we launch into battle, to have this particular like theme come back, especially as you're introducing the conflict. And in this particular scene, you know, all the heroes that we are working with, we are, you know, they're all using the rings and have their own, you know, compatriots and companions and stuff. So it's kind of, not only is it, I think for the player, you know, this is the main gimmick of the game, you know. So what you're getting is you're getting the introduction of, you know, Marth, the main character whose name I forget. You're also getting like all the homage, all the different homages. So I think musically it makes a lot of sense to then take a main theme that we just heard and thrust it into the first. Like Xenoblade Chronicles doesn't do that. Like Xenoblade Chronicles, you know, the first track you get when the Monado, when the Homs and the Mechon are fighting is just a battle theme, right? So it's pretty interesting that then like that has a different arc, whereas this here we're really leaning into the motivic writing of it. But that's standard for Fire Emblem anyway. I will say, probably the most intriguing Fire Emblem game to me, and the one I own because I want to play it, is well, there's probably 2. It's probably Shadows of Valentia. Really, it's Fire Emblem Awakening and Shadows of Valentia. Like, those are the 2, and I don't even think I'll try the new one coming out in September. I'm not drawn to Fire Emblem. I don't like tactics gameplay at all. I played the Blue Lion path of I do like this though. This is sick. Will I be checking out music from Morimens? Maybe. Maybe. It's a question mark. I would like to, but we'll see if I actually get to. So those are the two that like really appeal to me the most. The rest of Fire Emblem, in truth, I could take or leave, and it's not anything to do with like the games themselves. I'm just also not like a tactics guy, but the gravitas of Valentia and Awakening, and I also like the ethos of Awakening, the fact that like, or not the ethos, but the idea that this was like the final effort, you know. What? Fire Emblem Shadows? Is that game good? It's not a gacha? You've been waiting 2 years for this? Really? You cried a little bit listening to Dark Blue. Which one's that one? Dark Blue? I gotta go back and listen to that. I get very emotional when I listen to Drag Racer. All right, The Dragon's Dream. Of course, this is the mother. Shadows is good. Oh, cool. I'll check it out. I really do think that Engage is slept on. Bright Sandstorm is a very good track, and also very different from your standard. See how this like takes the concept, and like we basically riff on the same idea we just had. But I think the electric guitar in here is actually kind of low-key genius. I mean, it's like very interesting to listen to, and that sort of forward momentum in the rhythm feels so good. And you feel naturally inspired, you know? And none of it's really about strife. Yes. That is a good one, Finn. Yeah, I remember that one. Yeah, that's dope. All right, the heartbeat, of course. Well, that's why I bought it. That's why I bought Engage Solden, because I heard the gameplay was actually phenomenal. And I like gameplay. But I decided to play Final Fantasy VI instead because I really ought to as a Final Fantasy diehard fan. History of Ilios. Don't you love the momentum in the piano there? Don't you love this though? Again, I'm talking a lot because of this. I'm nervous about Nintendo. For this one, I'm nervous because Nintendo just recently uploaded it to Nintendo Music, like I've said 5 times. So that's why I'm sort of stopping a bit. I'm going to try not to stop too much, or at least talk over tracks, just FYI, just so that we're having some transformative conversation. I don't want it to just be me like listening because I'm a little concerned. But Engage was just added though, if I recall, because it doesn't matter. Anyway, all that to say, like, I like how this, your original channel got deleted because you made Nintendo angry. Oh, Jesus. I appreciate, how much there's this sort of momentum as we sort of awaken to the like, not only the history of Ilios, but also the awakening of the main character. And so as this opens up, we get this wonderful sound, like not only a sunrise, but also like a new beginning, right? As they explain sort of everything that's been happening in the different regions. That's what this is. Yeah, there's all these different regions of Ilios, and they're all controlled by different people, and they all have different rings, and you got to get the other rings. I did see that. Yeah, that was cool. I love how grand that is, though, huh? Da 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 da. Because it's not exactly it. It's like a callback. It's a reference, but it's not a. It's not a. And then here's the tension. But it's interesting how you get the tension in the lower piano, with the oboe sort of dancing on top. And then this is the reflective part, because it's stripped away in just the strings. But there's tension in that because of the conflict that occurred 1,000 years ago, so on and so forth. Beautiful piano work there at the end. Right. Again, forgive me. I try not to stop too much, but this is going to be a yap fest today. If we don't finish everything today, we'll pick it back up next week or the first week of July. Just because unfortunately, I was going to do this earlier in the month, but I had just gotten back from my honeymoon, and then I had a sprained ankle, and then Kingdom Hearts stole my soul, so I've been a bit busy. Okay, so we're going to go through Brodia, Kingdom of Might, and then Elusia, Kingdom of Knowledge, and then we're going to go through the kingdoms, because that's what's coming up here. Yes, thank you. Yes, we just had our honeymoon a couple weeks ago. Brodia, Kingdom of Might. Don't you love that, though? It's very subtle, but there's such excellent tension in there. But it's interesting, too, how we call it the Kingdom of Might. And we include, you know, this sort of like inorganic, non-musical sort of like hammering in the background. But also because of the way the violin is, and because it's slow and everything feels very deliberate and stretched, Brodia, Kingdom of Might is kind of a broken place. Like, and then even there's tension laden within that, right? You can hear that. I'm just pointing it out. And then this momentum in the strings is like this underpinning of something coming alive or waking up or you know, trying to make sense, you know. It's very interesting. It's a very interesting thing because ultimately it sounds scary and uncomfortable. Not exactly what I would perceive a mighty kingdom to sound like, right? So, all right, Elusia, Kingdom of Knowledge. Yeah. So it's interesting how knowledge here ends up being this like distorted quality where we're like fiddling with tech and we get inorganics. While at the same time getting like very like still. It sounds like there's an effort of productivity and an effort to get things done. But there's a sci-fi influence in it, though, which I find kind of appealing. And the occasional percussion in it as well. It's kind of like busy, you know? So there's a busybody quality of like trying to get things done, like I said. But really, it's the fact that it's slow and moving away from just a standard orchestral sound. It's very interesting. Also, hey guys, welcome in. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Hope everyone's doing really well. Thanks for joining us on this Fire Emblem Engage journey. Let's continue on. All right, the Bountiful Prince. What a good track. Again, I mean, using this soundscape is so interesting. It's very Celtic. But you get this incredible bass in here, too, which modernizes it, puts a spin on it. It does have this flair to it as well, this flair of danger, this flair of... Isn't that a fun rhythm? But listen to how the bass is so present. Boom, 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 beam, 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 boom, 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 beam, boom, 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 beam, boom, 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 beam, boom, boom, boom. And obviously this part is more measured, more calculated, more structured, but the really the peak of that is in this early part where it swells and it Isn't that excellent? That is so satisfying to listen to. That's so much fun, because it's confident, you know. But it's also like I've arrived. Like this is. I'm not gonna tolerate this. You know what I mean? There's like an understanding of the self, an acceptance of the self in that. It's very outward. It's very extroverted in its emotional expression. Fyrene Kingdom of Abundance. See ya. Same sort of vibe here. Obviously, it's a more of like a. This feels like a. You know, like a foresty, wooded area. It's very Celtic again. What I find interesting about these kingdom tracks is that they're not necessarily bustling and busy like a city center or something. They're all kind of slow and introspective and thoughtful and contemplative. It's like this is the music that sets us up for as we arrive in these places. Also a little bit of an improvisatory piano aesthetic in the back, you know. Same with the flute. Like there's this sort of like peaceful sound quality to it. Oh, that's good, Sonati. I think I know the first 2 hours. I also think that in general, this is a very like so exploring the region. So there's an inherent curiosity late in the music. Clifflo, well, Hydro essentially sponsored the soundtrack, which is why I'm listening to it. But also, I actually like the music. I find it kind of interesting. I like it more than Three Houses. But I usually tend to I usually tend to gravitate towards things that are a little bit more underrated or less popular. Well, you're welcome to be here, Smash King. Definitely not sponsored, but it is Patreon, yeah. But also the Bright Sandstorm, or whatever the desert theme, I had a patron ask for it a couple years ago, and when it first came out, and I was like, damn, this shit is great. Queendom of Freedom, Solm. But also, it's worth noting too, it's something that I find... Oh, Sitar, wait. This says Brodia Kingdom of Might. Yeah, I mean, we listened to the entirety of Three Houses in like one sitting, and I was pretty much done with... Oh no, I guess it was two sittings. No offense, Hydro, but I was pretty much done with Three Houses after that. And Three Houses wasn't... I didn't feel really compelled by Three Houses when I played it anyway. But at the time, and maybe I would like it more now, but at the time it was just so tropey and anime, and also like I don't love... Actually, what I love about Engage more than Three Houses is that it doesn't feel like it's trying to make me like characters, which is something that I felt in This is, I know, contentious. In Three Houses, like all the interactions with characters felt very parasocial to me as when I played it. Like I don't like being forced to get to know characters. And in Three Houses, I felt like it was like a cornerstone of the game is going to school and like taking lessons and hanging out with the people and talking to them after class. And I think that's partly why I also don't necessarily vibe with Persona very much as well. I know it's different, but it's the same thing where it's like, I don't want to know these people. I don't care. I want to play the game and naturally get to know them over time. And actually, oddly, now I'm not saying I'm crazy into Fire Emblem Engage, but I like that it's like kind of... I like that Fire Emblem Engage, even though the story's not my favorite cup of tea, but at least it's kind of like, it's just, we're just trying to get the rings back, baby. We're just trying to like solve the damn snake dragon, you know? The damn snake dragon, you know, is causing a mess. And hey, Daniel, you love the earnestness of Engage. Yeah, I mean, I did. Yeah, for sure. I wish I liked tactical combat more, but it's there. It's installed on my Switch. So I mean, it's you know, I enjoyed the first 2 hours, but I also suck. I mean, I'm just like, oh, good. All right, now I'm. Can't I just use the horses? Can't I just use the cavalry every time? Can I just use the cavalry all the time? Well, no, I'm not opposed to character building and interactions, of course, but it depends on how it's done. I mean, Xenoblade Chronicles is all day character interactions, but that's like a natural sort of build to that. Whereas like with Three Houses, it was I just never cared. I just didn't care about Edelgard. I didn't care about Claude. I didn't care about the only part that I cared about with Dimitri, is that his name? Was which was the path I picked, was when with the time skip. In the time skip, I was like, oh shit, Dimitri. Oh shit. What the fuck? Edelgard do? And then the rest of it, I was kind of like, all right, I'm good. So that's me though. I'm not trying to, you know, not trying to stir the pot, but that's my feeling with some of these games. This is interesting though, because this gives like you know, it's sort of like it's an interesting blend, because the instrument choices are so unique. Hi, Corinne. Well, Edelgard was disillusioned. I mean, I gotta give her credit. She was like, well, I clearly need to side with these people. No, you definitely need all 3 playthroughs too, I think. And that was another thing for me that usually when I finish a game, I'm done. The idea of going back and playing 2 other versions of it. But Fire Emblem is definitely a series that sort of escapes me. And I want to at least try one in earnest. You know, that's why I bought Awakening for my 3DS, because I'm like, you know what? 3DS, you know, Awakening's got like, you know, Chrom and freaking, what's his name? The source, the mage, like, you know, like legit, like super cool characters. A lot of you know what I find interesting about these Kingdom tracks? Robin, thank you. Oh, yeah, Robin, exactly. A lot of what I like about these Kingdom themes is that they're very like swimming. They have like a swimming vibe to them, where it feels like you're kind of in the world of it. You think I'll love Shadows of Valentia? Yeah, that's, I also have that on my 3DS. So, The Free Princess. Like, this is crazy. Like, isn't that fun? So the Free Princess is clearly, I don't know who the Free Princess is. There's a quirky playfulness that is laden within it because of the way that we have the percussion going, the choice of percussion, this music, boom, bum, boom, right? That's all playful. Bum, boom. And then the sitar is a fascinating introduction. Yeah, OST streams are a little bit rarer these days because there's so many games to play, and I can't sit here and just be listening to music. I have to engage. I have to Fire Emblem engage with games. You know, that's the thing. I brought this up on Twitter yesterday. It's like I'm not really playing very many gacha games or really live service games right now because there's, besides WUWA, because I love WUWA, but like because I don't have the time, and there's, you know, if I was only playing gacha games, I wouldn't be able to play Kingdom Hearts. I wouldn't be able to, you know, play Star Fox next week. I wouldn't be able to play Ocarina of Time. Like I'm in a gamer arc, you know, and I'm here to game, you know. So that's mainly why we haven't been doing OST streams, because they take a lot of time, you know. Like I'm really looking forward to finishing Kingdom Hearts today. Now I'm looking for, I like listening to music, of course. But also too, part of it is also because I was away for 2 weeks. So there was a question about what makes perfect martial or militaristic pieces. And I think ultimately what really stands out and what's really important to militaristic pieces is the rhythm. I think it's all about rhythm. And that's really important. You need to have momentum and of course brass. Yeah, of course. Yes, rhythm games, of course. I feel like WUA forces relations way more than Three Houses. Just depends. I like the relations. Well, maybe that partially is maybe because I just don't like the characters of Three Houses. It could also be that. Because yeah, you're probably right. But maybe I just didn't like the characters in Three Houses. It's also possible. Plus they're a different style. But I mean, don't get me wrong. I have plenty of complaints about some of Wuthering Waves' choices. Like there was a whole 3.2 patch, which was all about one particular character that I did not give a shit about. Sigrika. Didn't care. Sleepy Quest. Played it at like 11 p.m. Never again. Never again. Why? Because it wasn't fun. You know, I'll do that with characters I'm actually invested in, which is why I like character stories, because character stories you can opt into, and I appreciate that they're trying to move away from that. But, you know, I really prefer, engaging with characters I like, which sometimes doesn't pan out, which sucks. But yeah. Anyway, the Sentinels. Like, this is great. Like, this is such a. And I find it interesting that this is not the first track or the last track that will have this particular soundscape. And it's interesting because it feels very Indian, very very Eastern, but not Japanese, Chinese. Like, it really feels like Asian, And why though? Why is the choice of including this soundscape in this? And I think that that's really interesting. I like the vibrancy of this particular instrumentation choice, and then also mixed in with the string section, so we still get that sharpness. While you have this percussion underneath, and that's amazing. But what I find particularly interesting about this piece is that, well, I'll keep playing it while they talk, is that it's mostly rhythmic. You brought up Unreal Tournament 99, that's crazy. Notice that there's no real motif. There's not even really a melody per se. It's just shifting, right? Just constantly shifting. Vocals are sick. A little bit of like accentations and little like cameos from different instruments. But by and large, also the rain stick. And what appears to be a sitar just randomly coming in and filling out the gaps. They're based on Brazilian culture? Well, actually, when you say that, I mean, the guitar makes sense in that. And the chant. There's a lot of free-flowing nature in it, which is really satisfying to listen to, I think. I guess I said Asian because of the sitar and because of the drum set, but maybe it is more of a South American. I don't know, Yeah, unfortunately, my world instrumentation has gotten more and more. Well, it's probably a fusion anyway. But my world music sort of knowledge has basically evaporated. All right, the Fell Dragon's Hounds. This will be a battle theme, I assume. What the fuck? That's surprising. What I find interesting is that, like, it's kind of sexual. Like, you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of the oh my god, fucking JoJo. Everything's a JoJo reference. It reminds me of the Pillarmen. It reminds me of Awake. Not as good, of course, but there's this vibe of sensuality and danger within that. Oh no, totally, Daniel. I agree. But look at how it's like. It's basically like extremely confident. So interesting. But it clearly has some like a degree of hip hop in it, so it's very modern in its approach. But to mix itself with these older instruments, and I guess like someone said 2000s trap, I suppose, sure. But the mixing of instruments and the rhythm being modern is what makes it appealing, I think. Love the chant though. Yeah, that sounds so much like Awaken from JoJo Part 2. That's crazy. Really neat. 1,000 Years Alone. Oh shit, okay. Obviously, 1,000 Years Alone was a terrible, terrible thing to have happen. Listen to how it distorts that. The fact that we actually go, we augment the upper note. You see how it goes? It goes sharp, and it's another way of describing or of feeling music. In a I think we tend to think dissonance. We tend to think dissonance or compressing down, but there is such a thing as compressing up, or expanding up and going sharp and distorting, whether we're distorting down or up, distorting a phrase to make itself more twisted. Interesting. Your Journey. Nice. I love this sound. There we go again. Again, this is that. Listen to how the sustained strings there. I've not listened to SMT5 yet, no. I've tried to play it. But you see how like this is about like rising up? It's about opening your eyes to the future. I love this, the way that we're shifting rhythm here. So he sneakily bum 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 ba da. So there's the motif, but isn't that sneaky? Bum bum bum. Super sneaky. So we have that whole motif, which we've already heard before, and then we have a rhythmic gesture that starts to move and basically takes over and rips the original theme from our hands and moves into a new idea, even though it's a pizzicato pluck string, sort of re-identity of a theme we've already heard before. But it's interesting because it's super vibrant. Oh yeah, it's a very nice theme for walking. Of course, it's an overworld theme, so that makes sense. I haven't gotten to the overworld to engage. And that's just like a very simple call and response, which is lovely, right? Right there, exactly. Right? Sha-da-da-da-da-da-da. And then the strings there have this wonderful sense of arrival. A little bit of spice in this back half with that. Yeah, the main motif is lovely. I 100% agree. It's very nice. But also the instrumentation is interesting. You know, you get the xylophone or the marimba, not the marimba, probably the xylophone, and then you get the guitar in there strumming along, and then of course the violins, and all of that stuff just sort of culminates into this feeling of you know, like a deep breath or something, you know. Okay, Memories from Red Days. And there, so there too, we're taking. It's interesting because we're taking the theme. Very interesting. Very short and sweet too, but there it's like all of a sudden we swap away from the I spelled Uematsu's name wrong. What if I'm fucking losing my gamer cred? Nobuo Uematsu. Okay. We strip away, details are important and I'm missing little details. We strip away the beauty of your journey and move into this sort of distorted world where everything's darker and twisted, and we have hints of the theme, but we lose the sense of like tranquility that the theme brought us, right? A dragon who saves the world. See, it's interesting. We have the sustained string, and then underneath we have the cello descending down, and then there's an interesting sort of naturally occurring dissonance because they're obviously playing notes that are in clash. And then we get that lower register. We get three of them. And then it shifts. It shifts into longing, into memory. No, I mean, very long sustained notes there. Right? Such long strings, long bowings there. Long sustain. Underpinning of support in the lower note. We're gonna resolve? No. Okay, and then there's the main theme. And this is loss. We are slow. Even though that's a bright, sort of major, enthusiastic theme, look at how the instrumentation and that stretching causes a feeling of recollection, of sadness, of losing faith. Again, another sustain there. Now what? Now we go low instead of high first. Nice, get some tremolo in the strings. So now there's a bubbling. And the cello is grounding us with the lower notes. Nice. Now we're getting up. Listen to how we... Notice how the tempo change really affects our spirit and our mood. Now we're saying, no, I can never give up. Yeah. It's going to just keep stacking until it pivots off. Dun 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 dun. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. And then we get this, the horn, the trumpet, kicking us into this. Wow, that's lovely. Oh, cool. Oh, they... They're playing with the motif. It's incredible how effective the single trumpet is. And notice that we're also increasing in tempo. So what I would have liked, lovely. I mean, lovely. Hey, Leo, lovely sort of journey. What I would have liked is like maybe 2 more minutes and really given us. Now, obviously, this is a moment of looking at a situation, feeling like we're at our wit's end, and climbing out of the hole, right? Like that's really what this is about. But what I would have liked is to actually hear. Because you can visualize the song so much, and what I would have liked is to have seen the reaching of the hand, and then climbing up out, and that big motivic, climax, if you will. So a little bit too much prep, I would say, but obviously it serves its purpose as it needs to. The Emblem's Miracle. Wow. Wow, nice, yeah. Nice lift. Ah. Ah. So sad, but so beautiful. Beautiful. Really, really, really majestic. Oh, goodness. Huh. I love the heartbeat in this. That's so interesting. Wow, and then listen to the motif. Oh, that's amazing. Wow. Wow. Really beautiful. I mean, what a gorgeous, gorgeous. I mean, the emblem's miracle, right? So it's like coming alive and waking up and stepping into. Wow, that was really beautiful. I saw a statue of Final Fantasy IX of Kuja and Zidane. I just want to show you this. So I'm a huge Final Fantasy IX fan, and I didn't know this existed. And unrelated to this, really quickly, I just wanted to point this out. When did I go bald? You haven't been here, man. That's why. Unreal. Look at this. I saw it on eBay for $7,000. $7,000. Technically, when it first came out, the MSRP was $890, which is still an insane amount of money for a statue. Worth it? Well, with that PFP, I could see why you'd say so. And frankly, I would agree with you, especially because there's an LED light and shit. But $7,000 though? I'm not so sure. The MSRP originally was $800. It's called the Battle of Destiny. That is insane. Not my ass looking to see if I could buy it. Sold out, son of a bitch. It came out April 2020. How big is it? I mean, big. It's big, for sure. Having studied 3D sculpting, that's a lot of work. Well, I don't doubt that at all. It's a 1/8 resin. Look at this. Some random. Holy fuck! Look at this. Oh my sweet God. It's huge. Oh my God. I wish I didn't know this existed. It's going to bother me deeply, profoundly. Look at the detail. Yeah, no, I see. Wow. Good evening. Look at Kuja. Oof. Oof. Am I hyperventilating? All right, anyway. Duh. Oh, okay. All right. Let's get back into it. So, I'm sorry, I just want to take a break. When life returns. See, the sustain into the emotional moment is such a classic, evocative, deeply thought-provoking sound and feeling. That's beautiful. So that's cool. That's very nice. And listen to how fleshed out it is by comparison. This is a moment where this is all that's left is us. We are on the line. And it's almost like this music, this orchestral writing, engulfs itself into the character and gives the character energy and soul and spirit and hope and possibility. You know, it's so interesting. But then the piano is very sweet and sensitive and gentle and thought-provoking and wow. Oh, well, okay. A bit of an end, but it's because it looped. Just lovely. Lovely piece. On Day Patrol, Divine One. That's nice. Da, 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 da. Here we get a bit of normalcy. Whatever has occurred, there's almost like a soft reset. I do love how tranquil that is, how peaceful that is. Listen to that bounce though. That's interesting. There's hope in this. There's brightness. It's still very effervescent. And we just take the main theme and just like play with it and mix it around and dance with it and give it, you know, vibrancy and life. It's very lovely. It keeps you engaged. Ooh, it changes on time of day. That's nice. All right, enjoy the evening, Divine One. So this is, of course, the evening version of that. Let's listen to it. Yeah, see, it's interesting how we get the warmth of the clarinet. A little bit more string. Hi, silly. But also, again, the choice of percussion and the choice of... It's always vibrant, you know? Again, circling back on that main theme, there's peace in it. It's very nice. But I think the choice of clarinet, it still moves. It's so pretty. And then there's the main theme again. But that simple little motif is so heartfelt and so honest. Does anybody play Magic the Gathering, by the way? Tea Party in Fyrene. Oh, fuck. I just picked up my first deck. Ah, cool. Picked up the Final Fantasy deck. You played professionally? Holy fuck. What does that even mean? I picked up a starter deck, Field and Swamp. And then yeah, this song is amazing. Money? Yes, money. Yes. Much money. Yes, much money. Again, though, like vibrancy and kind of improvisatory. But it meanders while staying within a structure really beautifully. So I'm learning digital with Arena. I'm not spending money in Arena, obviously. And then I decided there's a card shop near me, and I really need a hobby. So I decided to pick up the One Piece TCG, which is pretty straightforward. Just have to learn it, and competitively. And then I was like, Magic is so readily available, so I just decided to pick up Standard Magic. I'll probably stream some Magic while I learn how to play. But yeah, so I picked up a Final Fantasy deck over here. I didn't fully understand the process for booster packs and how like boosters don't give you a complete deck. They'll just give you a whole smattering of whatever, and then you just kind of put it together. So like, it's interesting to me because yesterday I had a ton of swamp, a ton of aqua or water, a ton of fire, a ton of tree or trees, green, and a lot of field, which I took forever for me to understand what field was, because I was like, what's the sun? What's the white dot with the black sun with the arrows? Couldn't figure it out. Field. Well, I didn't know that. So singles, I didn't know singles. So basically, I did decide to pick up 2 starter decks, which are with for swamp and for field, but it's fine because I have a lot of extra swamp and field cards now. Standard is the current form most of the time. If you want to get into play for fun, a lot of players play commanders. Yeah. I know. I'm trying to understand the differences between the two, but it's cool. It's very expensive. Mostly because you need like what, at minimum 20 land cards per deck. It's crazy because like yesterday's my booster packs, it was like maybe 4 land cards per. So boosters really doesn't make sense. I don't know why anybody would buy boosters besides the desire to like open up a pack and get a hit, like wondering what you're going to get. But like, it's sort of impractical because there's, you're not going to get what you need. You might get some cool shit, but like, it doesn't seem like, plus like, for instance, like I have all these fire cards, don't have really anything that's actually helpful. But trying to understand all the rules and stuff is very interesting, and it's not complicated, but it's complicated, but booster packs are just gotcha. Yeah. Right. There are game modes where you actually make decks out of a set of number of boosters. Well, yeah, isn't that what pre-sale is, or pre-order? Like this weekend is the Marvel MTG. So like I literally have a how to build a sealed deck. So there's the sealed decks this weekend. But yeah, it seems like you get really lost in the meta of like, okay, well, the best cards are fire. So you need this card, and of course that's when the cost of them goes up. It was a hard toss up between like, I play Pokemon Pocket, and I like Pokemon Pocket because it's straightforward, but it's not the real game, obviously, but it's fun enough. But TCG is a really interesting phenomenon. The place near me, thankfully, does a huge rotation: Riftbound, MTG, of course, Commander Knight, Digimon actually, which is crazy. Although that's hopefully that Digimon, a lot of Gundam, One Piece, Blood and what's it called? Blood and Stone? No, Flesh and Blood, Star Wars Unlimited. Surprising a lot of amount of Lorcana is also local near me. Which isn't Lorcana just Disney MTG? So it's kind of interesting. So anyway, all this stuff, like, it's hard because I'm so used to digital stuff. Right. Gundam. Well, the thing is, like, if Bandai Namco releases a new TCG every year, I mean, the One Piece TCG is only 2 years old. I also didn't realize that, like, if you have a starter kit, so like for instance for One Piece, like it's very similar to MTG, where like certain color combinations, do certain styles of attack. I found out yesterday that, like, if you get a certain starter, you would want to get a booster pack that aligns with that starter, and it's the whole. Part of me is like, what am I doing? Like, am I actually ever going to go to the card shop? But then I was also like, but there's something really special about, like, getting into something and learning it and exploring it. Anyway, sorry. So that's just a side tangent, just to rest my ears for a little bit, just to say that, like, if you get into Bandai TCG, you have to buy 2 of each starter. Oh, really? Because I read yesterday that, like, for the One Piece TCG, you just need the 1 starter deck. So I picked up a... Oh, fuck. Oh. That's the thing. Do I buy gacha games or do I buy gacha cards? It's all money anyway. It's all money down the drain anyway, in one way or another. As long as it's fun, I guess, right? Camping in Solm. Oh, that's nice. Why not both? That's interesting, Mindfire. Yeah, I guess it's straightforward, right? Yeah. At least you can sell your cards. If you were like, never mind, I'm done. Do you need to know the rules for sealed? Like, can I just show up and be like, here's $40. I don't know how to play. Noted, Solden. These songs were provided to me by Hydro, who's my patron. That's such a cool way to toss back the. Problem is scalpers for Pokemon, though. It's crazy. That's why I avoided it. And yes, we're listening to battle themes eventually. God, that is so nice. That is so, you know what? It's amazing to me that there are certain moods. It's amazing how music can linger in a mood and a feel, and it's beautiful. It's incredible how music can sustain a feeling, and that's why I love it. I love it because TCG Pocket is nice, though, I will say. Scalpers really overpriced the rare cards, but the one used in play are pretty common. Oh, Pokemon's fun. I like Pokemon. It's a no-go for physical play where you live. They do have that spell table. It's an interesting tilting the webcam to the sealed is pretty beginner friendly, but like any CCG, good understanding rules. Yeah. I hope you have dark gray feelings. I might. Pre-releases. Oh, cool. Well, it also helps that you're all on equal footing, right? So, emblems at the dinner table. I'm surprised by how much guitar focus there is here. That's kind of interesting. And when you say basics, do you mean like land cards give you magic? Although, can I just say one thing? Sorry, and we'll get back to this. What's confusing about MTG Arena, which I like Arena, but what's confusing about Arena is that you'll pull a land card, and then let's say it's a 3 cost of whatever land, right? there's like a pile. You can't always tell when a land card is tapped. And so it's confusing because, like, for instance, if let's say you pull a land card and then is it maybe, you know why? It might be because a land card isn't active on first pull. And maybe it's tapped. Are land cards tapped on first pull and then the second? So, like, for instance, like there'll be a card that's worth 3 land, but you can't. I'll have 4 cards in a pile, but then it won't go until I pull another land card, and then it will make the 3 of it. I don't. It's a visual thing. When I play Magic, I'll ask questions. Essentially, like kind of a samba dance, you know. Oh, cool. Man, I like this. Ah, okay. Not yet, Scorpio. These are alternative themes. Oh, alternate themes. Oh, okay. But I like how, you know, the title of this is Emblems at the Dinner Table. And it's so vibrant. It feels like you can really picture Marth and whoever else, you know, at the table, like having a laugh and this moment of respite where we're just enjoying our lives and having a good time and feeling, you know, again, the key word for me is vibrancy. Yeah, Mindfire, possibly. It's okay. MTG Arena is pretty straightforward. I mean, I mostly am thinking about how to apply it to like actual like sitting down at a card shop. But again, like the improvisatory nature of it kind of makes it feel homey and inviting. Falling Petals. Jesus. So, you know, it's an interesting track because that's actually like kind of brutal. The way that we build up into this, and I see those notes. Thank you guys. I appreciate that. We'll have a Magic focus stream so that we can, I like learning from people. So it's cool. My social anxiety doesn't flare up when I'm sitting in front of a camera and I can't see your judgment. The building up of this is excellent because there's so much laden tension, and then it like reaches this dissonant moment and it feels deadly, you know, it feels super serious. That literally sounds like a Lacrimosa. Now, some of the themes we've talked about before are apparent here as well. There's this feeling of like, you know, the world is collapsing around us. Everything we thought that we were capable of, we're realizing that we're really weak, actually, and kind of pathetic. But all of a sudden, you know, we're being stripped away of our power, and we're losing ourselves in the process. Like right there, like that sound is broken. But see, it's odd that in this moment there's like peace just for a second. As if there's a clearing in the sky that allows us a chance to find an opening. But it's still like a razor's edge of oh cool. Dun 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 dun. But see, this fluidity in these strings is so... All of a sudden, there's power in it, there's hope in it, energy. Also, the percussion there too. Interesting track. Really, really effective. And it's amazing how there's this, again, this wonderful balance between like face to face with death and destruction and suffering, and then just that little sliver of hope and possibility, which is really beautiful. It does have some similarities to Don't Speak Her Name. Yeah, I hear that a little bit. All right, let's do Mother and Child Reunited. Okay, interesting percussion. Oh, I see. See, there's another example of that. It dips into that optimism. Huh. Yeah, I like how there's tension in that. That's fun. Okay, a goddess and her puppets. All right, so same exact theme, but like the hyped up, engaged version of it. I'm sorry, I keep saying that, but. Da-da, da-da, da-da. Oh, listen to that guitar. That's sick. Or piano, excuse me. Yeah, I like that. All right, Tear Streaked Ice. Ooh. So I like this because of the heavy rhythm and the heavy hits on the big beat. Boom, ticka dum dum, beam bum beat, and then you have the strong chant. That's sick. Okay. Huh. Because it's actually set up. Boom. Don't you love that? Jesus. And it's interesting too because there's so much power laden in it, you know? And I love the strong male chant and the way that it kind of digs its feet into it, and it just fucking like it has this drive, but it's different than anything else we've heard before in that it's actually kind of sonorily violent. You know, there's not a lot of room to breathe. It kind of constricts. There's a feeling of choking in it. It's sick. See, this is interesting because I think this speaks to like a broader phenomenon, and I made a post recently on Twitter where I know I use it still, but it's good for me and my business. But I don't allow myself to play more than one gacha game anymore because the music is highly effective, especially if you're sensitive to music and you want to engage with music. I'm sorry, I keep referencing Fire Emblem Engage, but like this track makes me want to play it to find out what happens, right? And that's exciting. That's an amazing feeling when music cajoles you into wanting to explore the thematic elements of the story, right? Like that's great, and it makes me want to make sure I keep playing because like while the beginning is a little bit, I don't know, a little trite, a little campy for my taste, like this is the kind of stuff that is very enticing, and when you listen to it, you're like, that's damn good, right? Like that's satisfying. Yeah. So God, what a great piece. I love the vocal work in that. That's so beautiful. And listen to that too, because that is absolutely sick. That is absolutely sick. I love that momentum. When I said Microsoft Flight Sim Fin, I meant European Combat Flight Simulator. European Combat Flight Simulator, not Microsoft Flight Simulator. Combat Flight Simulator was a... No, I know it's a standalone title. I own it. What I was saying is that it's very easy to get sucked into games because of their music. For me. But yes, Ace has overtaken my... Well, I don't really engage in... I don't really play those games anymore, so... only Ace Combat. I don't play Combat. Well, Combat Flight Simulator doesn't exist anymore. Although yesterday I did pick up Hawks and Blazing Angels, and there was another one, Crimson something, and so I'll try those out too. All right, let's keep going. Advancing of Despair. Now that is dissonance. Isn't that interesting? Holy God. And it's actually creepy crawly. It's unnerving. And again, the percussion elements like that are modern, but the music itself is has an older feel to it. All right, Enforcer of Knowledge, Frenzy. Yes. Yes, it is. Yeah, Microsoft Combat Flight Sim. That's surprising that within this track, there's lots of like push and pull between heroicism and danger. That's a cool track. All right, and then inconsistent one, Frenzy as well. Ooh. I would say it's almost a little bit too frenetic. You know? Yeah, I see the second folder. I got it. I mean, the rhythm is cool, and it has a modern flow to it, which is really interesting. Like, that's such an intriguing sound. To then thrust into the organ with the vocals. Look at that too. That da da dum doom da da dum doom da da dum doom. Dum dum shk dum dum ticka ticka dum ticka dum dum ticka dum 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 ticka dum dum shk dum dum shk. That's super cool. So intriguing. Okay, let's see. So now that is the first half of this. Then, so wait, are these? What did you do here? All right, preparations. So yeah, pre-battle pre-battle setting up, of course. I appreciate how active this is. Dum dum dum, dum 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 dum, dum 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 dum. Also, the swirling violins are super fun, but also the momentum again is very satisfying. Because you feel anxiety, but you also feel like you're prepping for action. Plus, do da dee da do da dee da dee da dee da dee da dee. I could have used like an extra 5 minutes of that. That's fun. Stalwart preparations, which is probably different than preparations. Yeah, so you hear how this is actually, because of the heavy hits there, there's more emphasis and more power and more seriousness, right? Dum dum, right? Shum dum, right? I love there's kind of a dance there. Dum dum. Shum dum. Also love how we get the oboe guiding us through this. Bum, bum. I do appreciate the emphasis in that. Dum, dum. Dum, dum. Yeah, it's fun. It's fun how these two themes have a different kind of intention in them, and so even though they're both preparatory, the drive in this theme is heavier and more pronounced. And obviously the stakes are higher because of how we're choosing the instrument choices and how we're choosing to create that sense of stress. And a lot of it really comes, I think, more than anything from those big beats. Thumb, thumb, tika 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 tika. How you guys doing? Are you with me? Are you guys doing okay? I'm talking about things as they pop in. Probably nothing too deep, but at the very least we're listening and sharing, and I'm trying to continue to talk and ride the wave. So no need to respond. I'm just making sure that everyone's doing well. I know all of you are working or doing whatever second monitor content, but I just want to make sure that we're chilling and we're good. So I'm gonna keep crashing through. Hopefully the things that I'm saying make sense. I'm having fun. It's really enjoyable to listen to this. Actually, I really do like it very much. And I hope your guys are having fun. So you chilling. That's good. You don't need to answer if you're lurking. It's totally fine. Just don't worry. I wasn't. Rule number 1, don't talk to the lurkers. Don't speak to the lurker. Don't acknowledge the lurkers. It will ruin their day. There are like Reddit threads about this. Hey, Vagri, the honeymoon was very good. Thank you. We enjoyed London and Paris very much. And then I had a neurovirus, so I was incredibly sick. I did lose weight, though. So that's good. Uh-oh, the lurkers are back. I've ruined your days. I'm so sorry. That's it. Streamer over. Everyone has left. You went to a P5 big band? That sounds fun, actually. Persona 5 big band would probably be extremely enjoyable to listen to. Ever been to the Netherlands? No, it's on my list. Amsterdam and basically all of Northern Europe is on my list of places to visit. When, I don't know, but hopefully soon. I really want to go to Finland and Norway and Sweden and the Netherlands, especially for the tulips. Are really exciting. I'd love to ride a bicycle through the tulips, or on the side of the tulips. I'm actually hoping to do an interview here pretty soon with Charlie for 8-Bit Band. 8-Bit Big Band. Finland mentioned. Finlandia. I thought you were going to be able to list another city other than Amsterdam. Why would I be able to do that? What has the Netherlands done of note that isn't in Amsterdam? Exactly, nothing. Go ride your bicycle and stop being rude. It was light outside at 10 p.m. I noticed that in Europe, actually, in general. Both in Paris and in London. It didn't get dark until like 9:45. It's like, what the fuck? No, I don't know. I don't know any other town. I don't know any other cities. Oh, please, you're in Germany. Don't even act. Don't even act like you're not. Oh, peak. There you go. I actually don't know any other cities in the Netherlands. Can I listen to Electric Fountain from Tekken 6? It wouldn't fit the theme of Fire Emblem Engage, so not today. The Hague has like 200 international institutions in the International Criminal Court. Are you in the criminal court right now? All right, I'm going to keep going. Because we have Kingdom Hearts later, so I'm going to keep going. Have I listened to the OST? No, I have not played. I do like Tekken music, though, Cook style. I have not listened to Look Outside or played it, but it's on my list. How do I enjoy the days in the EU? I actually liked it a lot. I really want to come to Gamescom. I don't think I'll be able to go this year unless some miracle happens and I get invited. I just don't foresee it happening. But I want to come back to Germany too. I want a bretzel. Germany has the best bretzels. And I say bretzels because of Brot. We love some Brot. Nothing like a bretzel from Berlin or from Munich. When I was in Frankfurt was okay. Frankfurt was kind of wasn't crazy about Frankfurt as a city. But London was so incredibly clean. Other than all the stabbings, of course. I posted on Twitter that I was in London and people were like, be careful, they're stealing wallets. And I was like, what? Where do you think I am? Where am I? Where am I? Watch out for stabbings. That was one thing I didn't know. I didn't know how much xenophobia and sort of like fear mongering there is about certain European cities. I had forgotten that was like a thing. How many stabbings did I get? Yeah, right about 300. Yeah, give or take. Sealed up really well. London is like that on the internet. Bro, London was so fucking clean. There is no city I have lived in that was as clean as London. I lived in Philadelphia for 6 years. Philly is a European city. Center city, of course. There were, how many shootings there were in Philly that year? Like 400. No, you know what? I think it was 350 all told at the end of the year. Like, the things that folks in the United States deal with in cities is totally different. My wife lived in San Francisco for 17 years. You know how much human shit I saw in London or Paris? Exactly 0. Exactly 0 shit. I saw no human feces on the floor in London. So, you know, it's just different. It's just different. You know what I mean? Low bar. London never gave me problems last time I visited. Also had the best scouse ever in Liverpool's cathedral. Wow, that's crazy. I want to go to Japan really bad. Knife crime per capita in the UK is actually roughly the same as the US. Okay, but so it's a condensed area. So what's up, Jay? She actually lived in the Tenderloin. That's what's crazy. She lived in the Tenderloin. So she had an apartment in the Tenderloin and everything. She like, oh, I walked by human shit all the time. And I was like, the fuck? Hey, Kane. London is like its own country compared to the rest of England. It's such a classic old, yeah. As a Norwegian, it's baffling that this conversation exists. So did your wife? That's crazy. I knew I liked you. Oh, Jay, you want to see my brace so you know I'm telling the truth? Watch this. Look, let me show you my brace. See that? For free. For free. I gave you that for free, Jay. For free. Didn't have to end up on Gay Talk or anything. Oh, some people don't know that story here. Greg's. Greg's is funny. Also, the fact that there's a Pret on every corner. We were like, where's the Starbucks? Too bad I had a sock on. One time I ended up on gay TikTok because I thought that women liked big feet. And turns out a lot of gay men do as well. and all of a sudden, people were like, take off your shoes. Let me see your socks. Let's see your feet. Because I like lifted my foot up onto the camera, thinking like, oh yeah, you ever been with a man with size 50? I was single at the time. And I lift up my foot, flooded with gay men. So much so that I even had a guy DM me on Instagram, totally unrelated, being like, hey man, you seem like a really nice guy. How about those feet though? I was like, dude, what the fuck? Yeah, I know. And that was why I sprained. So I made a mistake. Well, I think you were here, Hylian, but like I made a mistake. We walked so much because I was so afraid to gain all the weight. I was so nervous that in this 2-week time period in Europe, I was going to undo all of the things that I had done because I'd lost 9 pounds. Thankfully, the neurovirus took care of the rest. But we walked like 20,000 steps a day. Easy. Like around the corner was 6,000 steps. And I remember being like, look, we just hit 11K. You joined stream and you turned it into a feet chat. Don't worry. It's okay, Jay. I know that's why you're here anyway, so no stress. I'm taking a mental break because we just listened to 33 tracks of music and we're about to listen to 33 more. Then I'm going to take a pee break and then we're going to finish Kingdom Hearts today. So it's a busy, fun day today. The holiday weight worry is real. And I was deathly afraid that I was going to regain all this weight. But hey, see you later. Moxie would be proud. Oh, I love that dude. He's so nice. He's so nice. We lost some people because of the feet chat, by the way. Hey, Roded. What's up? Mental clip farming? No, I don't want to upload the feet talk, the gay talk to my shorts. I'm good. But yeah. Did I do 3 houses? I did 3 houses earlier in the year and or last year. I think a lot left to get dinner and such before Kingdom Hearts. At least 2 hours. The stream for Kingdom Hearts is in 2 hours. We'll do as much as we can here with Fire Emblem, and then if I have to finish on another day, I will. I did do this for 3 houses thanks to Hydro. Yes. You missed Feet Talk? It's okay. You didn't miss much. Although these tracks are pretty short, so who knows? All right. Far Away, Eternal Holy Land. Let's do it. Listen to that syncopation. That's interesting. How much time can I give to Kingdom Hearts? Like 4 or 5 hours. If I don't finish today, I don't finish today. I'll finish Monday. Listen to this. Isn't that fun? So you have like multi-rhythm here, sort of just layered on top of each other, the dancing essentially. And then there's the motif. You know what though? The more I listen to this motif, the more I think that this motif is more interesting to me than the Three Houses motif. I don't want to slander Three Houses, chat. I know that we've got some crossover here. No shade to Three Houses. But that game sucks. No, I'm just kidding. But I like how this sounds. I love this motif. Bob Marco sure has a peerless contribution to Pride Month. Nothing as LGBT as Fire. Wait, what? LGBT is Fire Emblem is LGBT? Is it because of the different hair colors? I didn't know that. I didn't realize that Fire Emblem was a safe space. It is? Wait, what makes it LGBT? Engage bears its soul more than the yeah, exactly. Engage is nice, especially since the remix is about to classic. Yeah, totally. You can marry the same gender? Oh, you can get gay married and well, we say married, not gay married. I didn't realize that. Animation is gay? What? Oh my god, yesterday I saw the cherry tongue scene in JoJo. I'm still thinking about it 24 hours later. Little. That is so fucking funny. That is gotta be, you know what? Stardust Crusaders has grown on me. So I bought 2 Jotaro shirts today. I also know that I love Kingdom Hearts because I bought a Kingdom Hearts today. A Kingdom Hearts hat today. Ike shows zero interest in the women coming on to him, but there's definitely a vibe. Jotaro's really grown on me too. God, Stand Proud is such... Anyway, let's keep going. Sorry, I love JoJo. I do feel bad though because I have sort of been sleeping on Cowboy Bebop, and because I'm just getting back into the swing of things. So I think I need to probably watch some this weekend and upload it because JoJo's just my jam. I just love JoJo so much. Kingdom Hearts is gay? Well, everything's gay. There was so much gay energy in opera. I sometimes miss it. I sometimes miss like I don't miss too much of the sassy gay energy because the sassy gay energy was a little bit intense in opera because you really had to like kind of lean into it and people were just kind of, sassy but like kind of also assholes. So like obviously that goes for anybody, but like there was a certain energy with the gay community in music that is always really fun. Just like some of the funniest people I've ever met were just so out loud and proud, and I obviously all had bad experiences both with straight people and with gay people, but yeah. Alita's theme from Dark Souls 2? The whole game he's looking for Riku and I certainly could, yes. Dark Souls 2 is actually a game I need to play. I don't think looking for your male friend means that you're gay. But Having a girlfriend is gay? Shit. What about having a wife? Am I super gay? Have I not noticed the real ex? No, I haven't. I just two guys they're just friends. It's not gay. You guys, you know, I'm going to get in trouble. Not you guys. Someone's going to come into the chat and be like, wow, this conversation was all about being gay. And I'm just here vibing, trying to talk to you guys. And then someone's going to come in and be like, you fucking, there's a bit of projection. Hey, Searmer, have I considered singing professionally? Believe it or not, I have. And I have retired. Okay, we're listening. We're continuing on. Enough with this gay talk. Dun 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 ding dun ding dun ding dun 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 dun. Yes, Babylon's Fall. I don't like that game. I never played that game. That music's incredible. See, and then it doubles down. And it's kind of interesting how here we have all this like meandering, and then when we return to this theme, we get emphasis because it naturally refocuses. Unfortunately, I don't really care for Kingdom Come Deliverance because it's a little bit rigid in its structure. It doesn't appeal to me as much, but I do appreciate those games. Yes. The main theme also is kind of modern. See, even here, this bouncing quality. Well, and I suppose it's called Fairway Eternal Holy Land, so it's interesting because it's almost like meeting others like you, or maybe other dragon people, or sort of interacting with like people that understand the reality. I don't know. It's very interesting. Bloom in the Breeze. Alright, so we're definitely leaning into the motifs much more than they were previously. Oh my god, that's pretty. Love the Pitts violin there. Yeah, I appreciate how heartfelt that is. I like how, again, that has that music has a quality of not only of exploration but of brightness. There's a sound in it of warmth, and also it's interesting how it can create a feeling of curiosity, which is really nice, because. And again, I think it's true that the flute and the violin, the way that they kind of dance and toss between each other, has a real feeling of almost well, I mean, the track is called Bloom and Breeze, so there's like almost like it's kind of celebratory, you know what I mean? All right, let's check out Full Bloom in the Breeze. Combat. Okay, yeah, so same track, but obviously there's more tension laden within the violins, of course. And then you're getting the motif and the lower strings. Yeah, it's just a little bit faster. No, it's not though. No, it slows down. Is it the same? It has a little bit more momentum. I'm trying to figure out. Hold on. Yeah, you know what it is? It's the snare percussion underneath that yeah. It's just a little bit fleshed out. It's a little bit yeah, and here's Blossom, Full Bloom in the Breeze. This is the combat, I assume. That's great. See I love the heft of the emphasis in it. Really good. So it's interesting how it immediately sharpens up. It gets tighter, and it launches forward. There's a real sense of deliberateness and forward momentum in it, obviously. But I like how that's sick. So they add the snare and they add the drum set. Dum, 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 dum. That's very nice. It's actually kind of slow. So it kind of, it fleshes itself out. That's cool. Notice how it has this like sort of dum shum dum 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 dum. That's cool. Also, notice how the piano is like floating everywhere. It's got da, da, da. It's very declamatory and shouted out, which is great. Da, da, it goes up, yep. And it's essentially just playing with the main theme. But it's also theoretic. Man, that piano is ripping. But it's also technically kind of slow. But also fast, obviously. Da, da, dun, 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 dun. Listen to that, though. The swirl is really fun. Down, 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 down. Huh. So it's interesting how the tempo makes it fast and slow at the same time. It's really, really, really pretty. All right, Royal Confidence. Okay. I don't love the canned horns so much in that. No, it's like not a big deal. But it's very hopeful. But I love how it has like a full-bodied sound though. Hi, Jacques. And then here it's interesting because it actually slows down. Wow. And there's the momentum. Dum, shum, shum, dum, dum, shum, dum, 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 dum. Listen to that wonderful bass. Da 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 da. That's the stress. That's tension. It's fear, and then you get the nice violins there undulating. Same thing. All right, then we're gonna go to Unshaken Royal Confidence. Okay, so we futz with the tempo a little bit. Dum dum shum da dum dum da da dum dee da da dum. Kingdom Hearts is later. dum da dum, shum da dum dum, bum 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 bum, bum ba da bum, bum 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 bum. It's still heroic though, which is kind of interesting. Dum jum jum da 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 da. And I like how the bassoon takes over. Will I do a video on Limbus Company? Yes. Next week. I'm filming it. Oh, I actually love that. That little expression right there is so lovely. Dum, da, ra, da, da. It's interesting too because the song is called "Unshaken Royal Confidence," but it's very shaken. Like that's a moment of a head-to-head where we don't really know what to anticipate and what to expect. And even though it's a battle theme, it's kind of feels like we're not going to win. All right, the time we've all been waiting for. Everyone can leave after this. Just kidding. Bright Sandstorm. We've got yourself Bright Bold and Bright Sandstorm. Great track. I've heard this before. Excellent, excellent stuff. Yeah, it's so great. Such a unique take on a desert theme, personally. Because it does use sitar. It does use, you know, obviously these flutes. See, this feels very South American to me. But they didn't go with like the typical like Arabian Nights vibes that we get so much, you know? And then actually the melody is in the mallet instrument. It's not even in, you know, the typical string stuff. Hey, hey. And then we come together and we form, you know, we form this, well, it's the same melody we hear all the time. Dum, 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 dum. Dum, do, do, dum. Shum, dum, shum, dum, shum, dum. And I really, really, really appreciate the guitar in this. But is that a sitar I'm hearing? Yeah, I believe so, right? That like that right there, that occasional like rolling of the chords. But listen how when the strings take over, that's optimism. That's hope. It's possibility. And then listen to that melody. Isn't that just amazing? Beautiful feeling of brightness, optimism, joy, possibility. I kind of feel like I'm repeating myself a little bit, but at the same time, like, these are some of the most common emotional tropes in music, and it's amazing how composers create them and lean into them, right? Like big picture, of course, right? Like there's obviously more nuance within it, but I find it interesting that like the themes tend to be the same. Now let's hear how it's expanded on the Fiery version, right? More strings, heavier hits, sharper rhythm, right? Hi, 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 hi. Ba, 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 da, da, ba, da, ba. Right, more percussion. But really, it's the drum set that I find so intriguing. But also the repeated strings are nice too. Chad, is Dead by Daylight fun? Or is it like cancerous? Hey, 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 hey! Hey, 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 hey! Hey, hey! Cancerous? And then there, that little beautiful accent. Very satisfying. Bird. Key change, right? No, we just reset into that brightness. And ultimately that is joy. And it's combat, but it's enthusiasm and excitement and a feeling of accomplishment and peace. I just really, really love the drum set in that. The drum set is so prevalent and really satisfying in that. And it's a great track. But like, let's go a step further and let's go to Bright Bold Sandstorm, which is the peak of this. And how is it different? Well, it has a lot of the similar momentum in it. You know, I don't know, Kane. I'm sort of on the fence with Fire Emblem. I'm not really a tactics guy, but I also like playing games. So, I mean, I feel like I might give myself a shot. I think I'll probably play Awakening on my 3DS just to test it out. But I gotta play through Final Fantasy VI first, and then get back to Xenoblade Chronicles 2 once the update comes out at the end of July. So, I mean, if there's time in July, yeah. First Fire Emblem for you? I mean, Awakening has got a lot of charm. It's also like, it feels pretty serious story-wise. The 3DS remains one of the best consoles ever made. A little bit expensive in the market these days. Lovely sound. Shan dan 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 dan. Perfect beginning starting point. Oh, good. Okay. I mean, you know, it's really. I will say that there's a little bit of like the stacking of the different volumes is not bad per se. I do think it gets a little tiny bit repetitive, but that also, like, we're listening to them 3 in a row, which is fine, and I don't mind that. But like, it's because I think it's actually helpful to like notice how each of these sort of distinctly exist. But I appreciate how they just you like my shirt? Oh God, I hope it's not made with AI. I don't think so. Why don't we take a small break to look at my shirt? Isn't that nice? It doesn't look AI. I got it on a site online, and I was like, oh god, please. Oh wait, what? Why is that? Oh, you know why? Do I still have my chroma key on? No. Oh, I did. Huh? I have my chroma key on. Isn't that nice? Hi, Alice. How are you? All the Ghibli characters. Nausicaa. Ashitaka. Kiki. Howl's Moving Castle. Sophie. No Face. Yeah, no. So I got it from a site called Artsholic, and I typically buy my shirts off of Etsy because they're usually made like, you know, by people. But I got like targeted by Instagram. Dealing with a bit of a headache, so you're gonna lay down and watch me. Watch away. So sorry. I'm sorry. It was just the wording was funny. You know, I saw a box, a Nausicaa box manga, collector's edition, that was sublime. It looked so beautiful. Tempting. That manga is beautifully done. All right, anyway, let's keep going. I'm doing okay. I have a sprained ankle and like tendonitis in my left foot, which I'm hoping gets better because I'm like walking around like a fucking baby deer. So I'd love to feel better. I couldn't go to TennoCon this year again because of it, which is very annoying. Hey, Crost. Damn, I'm weak. You mentioned the Nausicaa manga, and I just decided to buy it. Holy shit, I am very weak. How's Ghost in the Shell? Is the manga of Ghost in the Shell? Oh my god, it's so expensive. What the fuck? No, it's not. How expensive? How good is Ghost in the Shell's manga? Do you guys know? Well, you guys are all nerds, of course you know. All right, Determined Journey. Interesting here. Rhythmically, this is interesting. Oh, cool. All right, good to know. Bop, bop, bee. Da-da-dee, da-da-dee, da-da. Yeah, it really moves, doesn't it? And this is like a battle theme, right? Like a very, very... But listen how elegant and poised that is, though, huh? I mean, you can't go wrong with adding chant too. And it has a bit of a, like a feeling, like a, it's kind of stretched out where it's cool because it actually has more of that, again, that feeling of prep, right? This is the player phase music, which makes sense. So it's exactly what I was describing, where it feels like it's like, what are we doing? We're moving into something, you know what I mean? All right, determined journey. How did I feel about Jade Shadows? You know, I've had some time to sort of percolate on it. It was a little fast. I liked it. I liked it because of some of the Easter eggs and some of the callbacks. I would say one of the things that I didn't like about the Warframe update was that it's just a little bit too short. And so a lot of things feel kind of shoehorned. Especially I saw a lot of chatter about this, and it helped me articulate my thoughts on it. It's just too fast. The Gemini, sort of the proto frame stuff, it didn't necessarily go it's a little bit too short. It's good though. It's a good story. I think it does really nice things. It just kind of feels very like, here you go. You know what I mean? That's my biggest complaint about it, I'd say. It's almost like you get a little bit of whiplash with it. See, again, I like how this is slow. That's great, though. Ba -be -ba 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 -ba. The horn emphasis there is great. And the nice repetition in that. Some nice lifting there, of course. Dum cha ding da. Nice. Da da da. Like, that's cool. Dun dun dun. And I think the strings highlight expectation and like an achievement of a goal. Yeah. I treat constellations or these shorter quests like, you know, sprinkles on top of a nice dessert. I mean, you don't really play them for those, you know, you play them for like New War, the bigger stuff, right? Exactly. Also, I love how heavy that is. And notice the long horn accentation, the trumpets, is really cool. Ba ba ba. And the chant is fun as well. Cool, let's go to distorted flash of light. I like that. I still think this is interesting. I still think the use of the going sharp in that is really, really interesting, because it takes that theme that we've now listened to a bunch of times and it flips it on its head. Even just modifying one note makes it more urgent, makes it more scary, makes it more tense, more fearful, more harrowing, right? Right? Like just doing that alone creates a sense of discomfort. Yeah, no, 100%. So it takes classical tropes and classical writing and modernizes it in the approach with the percussion and the rhythmic identity of the pieces. So it's totally true that these have it just loops. Modern sensibilities in them. So, but that's pretty interesting because that's pretty intense in and of itself. So let's listen to the battle version. Okay, so we pick up in tempo. But I mean, it's truly like a modern track. It's also interesting because even though it's basically the same, obviously it has that extension of the tension. But what's interesting is that actually feels more it's called distorted flash of light. And so this has a twist to it, which gives it that sound of like broken energy. You know what I mean? Like it's twisted, it's contorted. It's not what it appears to be on the surface. It's malignant. It's uncomfortable, and that sort of sound that's in there, that's what's doing it. It's essentially just twisting it, you know. This is for Fire Emblem Engage specifically today, Nick. We'll have a community stream next Wednesday. Cool. All right, and then we'll go to Corrupted. Is that right? Yeah, Corrupted. Well, it makes sense. And I like how this has the tempo of being chased. But again, like this is 2023. Ooh, that's it. Okay, cool. Short and sweet. All right, Trial of Awakening. This was released in 2023, I believe. All right, these are the themes of the rings, right? Of the yeah, I think these are remixes, right? These are remixes of Right. Dum 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 da 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 dum dum dum. I see it, yeah. I see it. But see, this is like a pure, like real, like pure optimism, I say. Again, it has this like brightness to it. I like how the horns basically give the Fire Emblem motif. Oh no, that's id. That's id. Trial of Awakening from Fire Emblem Awakening. Yeah. This is a Chisera's. I forget her name, but this is a Okay, let's listen to a reignited version of that. Yeah, really like the percussion tracks here. Lucina. Da 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 da. That's so sick. I love how inspired it is because it's really, really, really fun. Because I love how the electric guitar expands on what we previously heard, which is done throughout this entire listen. But more so, it has this. It's just so purely heroic. You know, it's so pure in its like delivery of like of like wanting to do good. And the electric guitar, I think, also is like, don't get it twisted. Like, I'm not taking your shit. You know what I mean? Like, it's so like, that's so cool. Like, that's excellent. All right, let's go to Trial of the Academy. Oh, of course, yeah. All right, so this is Byleth, you know, the Fire Emblem Three Houses. That's a fun remix, though. And I love how rhythmic it is, too. It's not to say that I don't like the main theme of Three Houses, because that would be ridiculous to say. It's just not necessarily my favorite. Da da da. Ya da da ya. Like, this is the best part of that. Da dee da da dee da 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 da. Right? Da 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 da. It's so nice. Da dee do do. Da 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 da. Ya da 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 da. Actually, that's a fun way to remix it because it messes with the tempo a little bit. It's actually fun. Right, that's cool. All right, and then let's go to. This is a Trial of the Academy. Teach Us. Again, the drum sets here just deliver. Well, I'm so sorry. Something happened. I like how it also basically, like, you know, the remixes of themes that already exist. It's fun. Even this is like, this syncopated rhythm is so fun. It's fun. That's really good. That's really good use of that main theme. All right, Trial of Fates. Of course, this is from Fire Emblem Fates. Reminds me of Power Rangers. Yeah, it reminds me of Fate, but like not quite as dark. Da da dee da da dee da. Da da dee da 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 dim da 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 dim. Again, that optimism is so catchy, and I think like really ultimately, not only do they pay homage to the songs that the games that they're from, but also they delight in the optimism of those games, right? It's really cool to experience these remixes because of how honest and celebratory and almost kind of honorary they are. You know, it's cool. All right, this is Bare Your Fangs version of Child Fates. Yeah, like that's sick. Ra da dee da da dee da. Da 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 da. Sha da da ding da 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 ding da da da. Sha da dee da 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 da. Because also listen to the way the riff just kind of just goes hard in, you know. Da 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 dee da dee da. Da da dee da dee da. Da 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 da. But again, like that guitar drive makes it because it's just so like get on your knees, like I'm fighting you, we're gonna do this, you know what I mean? Like nothing is stopping us from this moment. It's very exciting. Da-dee-da, da-dee-da. Because it's also riffing, you know what I mean? It's just again, it's so honestly, it's really kind of lays itself totally out there. You know, it doesn't shy away from the emotional integrity of whether it's enthusiasm, excitement, danger, whatever. Like it's just there, you know what I mean? And it hits you in it. Okay, let's go to Trial of Genealogy. Oh, that's cool. There is a little bit of momentum in these combat, sure. I was gonna say it's very it's very poised. That one's also very like that one's a little bit more measured, you know. All right, so Free Us, Trial of Genealogy, and that's the opposite. So this is digging in. This is digging all the way in and like pulling out your soul and saying, you know what, I'm not gonna let you get in the way, right? It's very poised. See, listen to how like enthusiastic this Fire Emblem theme is, where it's literally like guttural and kind of like aggressive in its way. I love that. Dum da dum da dun da dum da ding da dun da ding da dun dun. Oops, sorry. Did I finish it? Oh yeah. But again, I think we're in a time period where people really get mad. See you later, Solden. Don't worry. People get really agitated by like whimsy, or like things taking themselves not as seriously, or things being like not deep and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, it's okay to just like vibe with shit. You know what I mean? Hey, Callie, hope you're doing well. Good day, Marco. Who's your favorite Fire Emblem character across all the games? You know, I don't know, but I like the vibes of Awakening the most. So I'm going to say Chrom, even though I don't know Chrom. Chrom seems very eager to just do the right thing, and I really like that. Well, Sakai, why do you think Sakai, know I'm playing Kingdom Hearts? I'm over it. Why do you think I'm playing Ocarina of Time and Legend of Zelda? I want whimsy. All right. Trial of Binding. Rise up. I like how each of these two are very different. That is so honest. A lot of syncopation in this too. Like very clearly like a passionate character that isn't going to take any shit and is determined and focused. Now you could say that about any of the characters, but musically speaking, this is really a hard drive, right? That has a lot of anticipation in it, a lot of like determination, a lot of focus, a lot of like, you know what, I'm not stopping. You know, it's different than Genealogy, which was more poised, measured, calculated. This is more like anger, sort of emotional. So this is the Shine on Us version. No, wait. Yeah. This is Trial of Emblems. Oh, this is Marth. Okay, yeah. Again, like tons of enthusiasm in this. Wow. I love that upper register. It almost sounds like a harp. I don't think a harp can rip like that, but like... Do you notice how like all of these characters though, they're all kind of pure. Oh, listen to that tension though. That's fun. Right? So Martha's a go-getter. He's responsible. He does things. He moves through adversity. He chases the goodness. You know, there's this sense of like drive in that. That's really fun. And also too, like I love the you know, that's that determination. And all of these characters are obviously very determined, but they all have no like, they don't have any pretense. Like what you see is what you get. You know what I mean? Like they are earnest. And I think that's really nice. You don't have to guess how they're going to behave because they're just going to behave the right way, which is cool. Especially in a world of doublespeak and, you know, all that other stuff. So, all right, this is a Trial of Radiance. Fight on. Very Very do or die. Very heavy, actually. Sounds like a pirate jig. Definitely a character that doesn't isn't afraid of anything. Is this the GameCube one? So it's interesting to me because musically, oh, GameCube, okay, and Wii, okay. Didn't this just come on the Switch? Yeah, okay, that's what I thought. To me, it sounds like Ike is sort of rough around the edges, and so what you get is not what we hear when we hear Genealogy. What we get is actually like a little bit rough and tumble, who's like not gonna take any shit, but like in a kind of like smarmy, debonair, sort of like almost like James Bondy, not minus the spy stuff, just like he kind of devil may care. A very strong person, you know, kind of an attitude, very like, what the, you know what I mean? He just doesn't give a shit. That's interesting. He's very poised and quick-witted and kind of direct, but not stupid. Not stupid. All right, Keeper of History, Frenzy. See again, I mean, just a shit ton of syncopation. Dum 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 dum. It's cool to hear the theme too. All right, and then we've got the Four Hounds Frenzy version. Oh, that'll be interesting. Okay. Ba-dum, ba-dum. That's cool. I love how aggressive this is. Hold on 2 seconds, guys. I'm so sorry. I just had to... Sorry. We're cruising. My bad. Okay. Goddess in Shadow Frenzy. Yeah, it's cool. It's cool how the organ... I mean, it's such a... I know it's such a trope, but like using the organ to describe something evil or shadowy, nefarious, dangerous, stress, it's just amazing to me. It always ends up being like this, and it's always fun to listen to, in my opinion. But it's also cool because I swear the most interesting thing to me about this soundtrack is that they give you a main theme, but then in order to express like anger or agitation or stress, they augment it and go sharp, which is very rare because typically we will go flat to describe fear or anxiety or stress or whatever. So like to go into this direction is really interesting. But also too, like the momentum in it is very satisfying. And I love the organ choice. But again, a very modern approach to the sound. I love that. Ba-da-ya-da. Da-dee-ya. Also, it's interesting that we also use the what's it called? Is it trap? Wah 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 wah. No, that's dubstep. No, that's house. What is that? That's like Skrillex. And I think the reason why that's included is because of like it's unnatural, right? Skrillex is dubstep. What is that then? Wah wah wah. I guess it is dubstep, isn't it? And I think personally it does it in a more interesting way than even Three Houses. Thanks, Jonas. Okay, cool. I like how edgy that is. All right, Defective Frenzy. I will say, like, sometimes the songs get a little bit noisy, where they're kind of just loud. Like this one immediately, I'm like, it's just loud, right? but I like that it like the emotional state is pretty quick to pick out, and that's what makes it interesting and fun, I think. But I love how I like how desperate this sounds, and frenetic and stressed, and it's like really like your back is really up against that wall in this particular track, and it feels like it's hounding you, you know. And then the organ takes over. Huh. Yeah, that's cool. Okay. The Fire Emblem Battle Records. This is a classic theme then. Amazing track. So not only do we start, obviously we start with a fanfare, right? We start with a heralding, an invitation. But then we also kick in with, it's getting a little dark because it's very rainy here. But then too, this is, you know, obviously this is battle records, so you're seeing your stats, and so naturally, actually I don't like that. Naturally, the music here is very exciting because you want to know how well you've done, and I appreciate that. Then of course the Fire Emblem theme comes in right away. But listen to the way the strings, it's very different than everything we've listened to, which is, it's very orchestral, very honest. Da, da, da. Da, 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 da. You see what I mean? Like, that's an amazing track. Like, this is actually beautiful because this is not only is it celebratory, but it's also like highlighting your, well, obviously your accomplishments, but also like kind of joy, like it's amazing too how joy in music can come in many different ways when we talk about emotions, but this particular rendition and this particular moment has optimism laden throughout it. And so it's just optimistic, like it's just positive, it's like, congrats, man, you rock at this, like you're a good person. Like it's be proud. There's a pride in it. And I love that. I love how we can sense that emotionally immediately, right? God, listen to the French horns there. That's beautiful. And then after all that buildup, we reset back into that Fire Emblem theme, and it's interesting because it slows down and it has this feeling of rest, because we go on that emotional journey from the top. It's very cool. Premium arrange albums? Oh, that sounds fun. I'd love to listen to those. I love arrangements, rearrangements, and Isuma. Oh, cool. Yeah, no, I didn't realize that those existed. All right, the journey is finally over, and our final track of this stream. Ah, beautiful. Boom, boom, beam, boom. 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 That's fine. Dun, 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 dun. I love the whimsy in it. It's very playful. Okay, it doesn't do it. Interesting. God, listen to that. My God. Dum. God, that is so beautiful. So strong too. It's so powerful. Da da da. So it's going through all these different, like, basically emotional states. Oh, that's pretty though. Dido dido, shado dido, shado dido, dido dido, dido dido, dido dido, dido dido, dido dido, dido dido. It's obviously it's reflective. It's the final track of the game, so it's reflecting on everything that's happened. You know, the journey we've been on, the experiences we've had. Da, 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 da. I love how celebratory this is too. And it's such a way of celebrating the main theme too, you know? Whoa. Okay, so that's referencing the danger we've experienced and how, like, even though danger is technically over, we haven't necessarily won. Or we're reflecting on the experiences that we had. Especially when there's a big shift like that. I love the piano though. That's so elegant. Da-dee-da-da. And then in the end, it's all, you know, bright and beautiful. Wow, and what a like truly culminative ending where we are just gathering together, celebrating this. It's basically like the definition of an outro, it's like when you do a curtain call and you play through all the different songs that you heard as people take their bows and experience like the joy of having finished something. It's real culminative, isn't it? And it's so I think very touching and very mature, and yeah, super beautiful. It was very engaging, and it felt more like movie music than it did video game music. It's very in line with, you know, stuff that you'd hear in a movie. It's really, really nice. And yeah, that's gonna do it for us for this. I really appreciate Hydro, of course, supporting the channel and doing this. I appreciate letting us do 2 in one go, just to crash through so I can catch up on some other stuff. Of course, everybody, thank you for coming and spending time with me and with listening. And it's always great to have a nice active audience who's enjoying the music and wanting to listen with me and explore it together. It certainly makes these more engaging and fun. I appreciate that very much. I'll be back in like half hour for Kingdom Hearts. Probably end up finishing today or tomorrow. So feel free to come back if you want to. Otherwise, have a great rest of your day. I know that, 4 hours of listening to music goes very quickly, actually, which is shocking. But yeah, if you're not coming later, remember that tomorrow is our Patreon live stream where you can come and listen to music that the patrons request and ask for. Feel free to, of course, Daniel, good to see you. Feel free to come and stop by, and we just listen to music in the same way we did today. It's more relaxed, a little bit more silly and sometimes stupid on my part. But yeah, see you later for Kingdom Hearts in about 45 minutes. Bye, guys. Take care of yourselves. Be so well.